All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. This is a training on common missing data for ERA clients in HMIS. This is being recorded so that you can share with other users at your agency that are unable to attend. I'm going to go through the slides, and you can either unmute yourself or type in the chat if you have any questions during the presentation, and we'll also have some time at the end if you would like to discuss then. So to give a little bit of background, as part of the ERA process, once the service providers have determined that a client meets all the criteria and is approved to receive payment, there is a field in HMIS that asks, has the household been approved for United Way? And your agency would select yes once those criteria are met. And that will put the clients on a report that is being sent to United Way on a daily basis so that they can start processing payments. And their report is looking at clients that do have this field entered, and also their ERA assessment has been updated within the past 7 days. And the reason for that is just so that they don't keep receiving the same clients over and over again. So we have a copy of this report for each spa to be able to run and look at the data that United Way is receiving related to the spa and AMI fields. So on this visual here, I've highlighted the names of the report in HMIS, and you can run them for your spa. And if you have questions about how you get to this data analysis page where these reports are located, you can check out this Running a Saved Look article, but it's under your report library on the data analysis page.
Erin, this is under the 211 OC dropdown, correct?
This one, you can pull from your agency.
Okay.
Yes. You will see it. You will see it under 211, but you can do it under your own agency.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So by far the most common field that's missing is the AMI field. Oh, really quick, let me show you what the full report looks like. So when you pull the data from HMIS, this is what it's going to look like. It's for your spa only, and it'll have the client ID and name, assessment date, whether the yes field for have they been accepted to United Way, your project name, the start and end date for that project, their AMI, the income, whether or not the head of household entered income on the enrollment screen, how many clients are in the household, and then the household annual income. So we'll be kind of diving into this a little bit. So the most common issue, like I said, is that AMI is missing. And so there are a couple of reasons that this can happen. The first is that the number of household members is missing. The second is that the annual income is missing. And then in some cases, both of those are filled, but AMI is still missing. So we'll get into that also. So first you want to filter that report by AMI equals missing. And then if you filter by household members, that equals blank, so there's no number, this should almost never happen. But if it does, it is because of a delay in the report that like maybe the data was just entered into HMIS and Looker hasn't been updated yet. So no action should be needed by you. Just wait a few hours or the next morning and that data should appear for those the number of household members. The more common mistake is the missing household annual income. So on that same report, if you filter by AMI is missing and household income is blank, you'll see something like this. So there's two possible reasons that the household income is blank. The first is that the client entered, client doesn't know, client refused, or data not collected. for their income source on the enrollment screen, or they said, yes, they are receiving income, but then didn't enter an income amount. So in HMIS, so to check this, you will go to your client's record and then go to the program screen and select their emergency rental assistance enrollment. And when you go to the enrollment screen, you'll go down to the income section. And so you can see for this client, they said, yes, they have income from any source. They selected earned income and then the amount is 0. So that's why the household annual income is missing for this client, is because this is 0. The other possibility is if the client said don't know, refused, or data not collected to income, that would also be why it's missing. So to fix, you would go in here and enter their income amount, or you could also change their income to no, but they do need to know their income in order to calculate their AMI. So going back here, and once you enter it, again, there could be a slight delay, so give it a minute, but it should fairly quickly update your total annual income. So if you're filtering by AMI as missing and all of your households have a number of clients entered and the household annual income is not blank, the reason AMI is missing is because they're above 80% AMI and they technically don't qualify for ERA. And so looking at this is all real data, by the way. So some of these clients have $1 million and would not be eligible for ERA. I would love to have some of these annual incomes, but so you would need, and the most common reason for this is that the user entered the client's annual income on the enrollment screen, not their monthly income. So let me show you what that looks like. So to correct this, you would again select your client and go to their program enrollment screen. And so you'll see this client has SSI entered, but they put $24,000 here. And if you go down to the bottom of the income section, total monthly income is $24,000. So to fix, you would go to the screen and update to their monthly income, and then save it. And when you do this, make sure you also go to any other adults in the household and update their income also. So you can do that if you go over here where it says program group members, you'll see everyone else enrolled in the household with this client. And you can click on the edit button and go to their enrollment screen and also update their income. And so now this, both of the clients in this household have their monthly income reported, so they should now qualify for the ERA. If they really don't qualify for the ERA, then they should not have an enrollment in your project. So in that case, you would go to the program page for each client in the household and you would delete their emergency rental assistance enrollment because they're not eligible. Make sure you do this for each household member. And then also for the client that completed the ERA assessment, you would go to their ERA assessment page and scroll down to this section. This is at the bottom of the milestone section. You would change, was the household accepted into this project, to no. The reason why not would be, where is it? Maybe it's not, oh, over income limit. And then has the household been approved for United Way, you would change that to no and save it. And then that will be it for that client. And then we also included here the AMI levels in case you would like to see those. But if they're above these, they do not qualify. The other common issue that we see when sending data to United Way is that the SPA is missing. So to find this on that report I showed you, you would take off any filters you have and then filter by program name is blank. And then you'll see everything is blank for the project information, and AMI information is all blank. And the reason for this is either the client does not have an ERA enrollment or they have an enrollment under another SPA. So to check this, you would go to the client's program page and then make sure they have the emergency rental assistance enrollment here, and also make sure it is for your agencies. So in this is the training site. In the live site, it'll say Pathways of Hope Emergency Rental Assistance, Family Assistance Ministries Emergency Rental Assistance, or Volunteers of America Emergency Rental Assistance. So make sure it is at the ERA enrollment exists and that is at your agency. If the client has an ERA enrollment at another agency, you'll have to confirm probably with that other agency to make sure who is serving that client. If the other agency should be serving, if the other agency's ERA enrollment is correct and they should be the ones serving the household, then most likely you need to update, or they need to update the address on the ERA assessment. So you would go to their ERA assessment screen and you scroll down to the bottom of the application section and they'll have their address information here, and their city will be in your SPA, which is incorrect if they're being served by another SPA. So one of you will need to come to the screen and update their address and city information so that the client is showing up on the right SPA report. And that's really all I have. So we do have some time for Q&A if you guys want to talk through some of this, or we can get back a bunch of time.
Erin, I have a question. This is Sarah. So for the SPA assignment, there have been a couple that have gone through, and I think I've emailed you about a couple, that they're enrolled in our project, they're in our jurisdiction, date of birth is in there, like everything that should be noted in there. The Pathways of Hope on the assessments tab is in there, but for whatever reason, they were still coming up as missing SPA assignment. Do we know what the error is on that part?
So before the report was only including head of households, because we were assuming that the head of household was the one that completed the ERA assessment and would be the head of household in your ERA project. After that meeting we had, we updated the report. So now it'll include if the client is an adult or a head of household. So that should resolve most of those issues that you were experiencing. Okay. Yeah, the other big thing is if they either don't have the ERA or it's in the wrong SPA, like I mentioned.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that. Thanks, Erin.
Yeah, if it keeps happening, definitely let me know and we can work through it. But I think updating the report to include non-head of households was a lot of the issue.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Well, I can run it. We can run it again and see if it is still showing anything.
Okay.
Erin, I have a question. This is Ida. I know if there's an error on the city that the client has indicated that they reside in, and let's say North and South are having a conversation surrounding who this client belongs to, I know in previous conversations, we've stated that we are not allowed to make any changes or to the milestones or update any information once it's been sent to United Way. I just want to clarify that as long as it's not at the United Way, then we are able to make any edits to the assessment piece of it, correct?
Yes, for sure. You can still make those updates if they haven't been sent to United Way. And I think the reason that some of the United Way stuff can't be updated is that that's the information they're using for processing the payment, like the amount of rent due and the utilities and all that kind of stuff. So that really can't be changing because that can impact that process and I think force them to start over in some cases.
Okay, so as long as it hasn't been sent, then we will do our due diligence to ensure that the data is accurate in HMIS on the assessment piece. My next question is, do you mind sharing that screen where you provided us information regarding the income limits? Okay. I'm looking at, and those are the 2020 income limits. Have we not adopted, and do we not want to adopt the 2021 income limits? Are we using the 2020 because we are potentially collecting the income forms for 2020? I just want to make sure we're utilizing the correct income limits. I know at the beginning we were using the 2020, and then when the new 2021 income limits came about, we started utilizing those. So
when we talked with the county about it, they said they wanted to just keep the 2020 limits because that was what was in place when this started, and they didn't want to have like two different income limits to deal with.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sure. And I did kind of look at the reports for the spas, and now with that change that I mentioned to Sarah, almost all of the issues with AMI are related to the household annual income. Either it's too high like here, or it's because of the don't know, refused, data not collected income. So there was only like 5 or something with no spa. And when I was checking them, it was mostly because it either didn't exist, the ERA enrollment didn't exist, or it was at another spa. So I'm hoping this process will be a lot smoother for everyone.
Cool, thank you, Erin.
Mm-hmm. Other questions?
I don't have anything as of now, Erin. I may have some more as I run the reports, but this is pretty straightforward and pretty clear. So yeah, we'll make sure we clean up our data if we have anything missing. But yeah, I think adding all of the adults and not just the head of household, I think is going to be beneficial.
Yeah, okay. If no one else has any questions, then we can wrap up early, and then I will send out the recording for you guys to reference and for your staff. So I think that's about it. Any last thoughts or questions? All right, thank you guys so much for showing up on a Friday, and definitely let us know if you're running into issues and clients aren't falling into these categories that we went over. And have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks, Erin. You too.
Thanks, Erin.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.